Hi guys, massive welcome back to the Best of Brit Bodybuilding Show, and today I have the extreme honor and privilege of being joined by one of the most inspirational, just incredible athletes I've ever come across as long as I've been doing this. Kassandra Bacon. Kassandra, how are you?
Hello, I'm fine, V. Yes.
Now, you guys have to understand how hard I work for you guys. I've been trying to get Kassandra on the show since when was it? For over 2 months. When
Yep.
UKBeef. I've been trying to get her on the show to share her story for 2 months, and did I come across a little bit crazy, like saying, "Mate, we have to get you on"?
Yeah, it's a bit weird. I was like, okay. I'm a bit shy as well, so I was like, no, I'm fine.
So guys, I've been working really, really hard, but Kassandra's story is one that I interviewed her the first time we met, and I was just blown away by her journey in the sport. She only shared a little bit, but I was blown away by what she shared. So I don't really want to talk too much. I just want to sort of let Kassandra share her story, but I'll sort of give you just a little bit of insight as to why she's on. So she's actually our UKBeef bodybuilder this season. And it's because she's got such an inspirational story. I'm sort of sat here just so excited to hear it from her. So really, Kassandra, what I want to know, how did you get started in the sport? What made you think? Because it wasn't all that long ago. What made you think? I'm going to pick up weights. I'm gonna put myself through prep and diet and get yourself to where you are now.
Where do I start?
Mate, we've got time. If I had some popcorn, I'd grab it. I'm gonna sit in.
So yeah, I mean, I guess I've always been sporty from school. All the sports, captain of the netball team, rounders, blah blah blah. Horse riding and stuff, because I was brought up in Norfolk, so love
horse riding.
Yeah,
fantastic.
But corporate working, loved the gym just for spin classes, body pump, an hour on the sort of cross trainer. I didn't know what I was doing, I
so
struggled.
you're one of those people that walked in, spent an hour and then walking
Yeah, struggled with my weight, if I'm honest,
really?
Up and down in terms of weight, but just didn't understand, how to, change my body. I fell upon pumping iron gym, if I'm honest. My other half was kind of trying to get me to come over to his more often, and I'm like, no, I've got my little setup, my little gym, blah blah blah. He's like, there's a gym just literally opposite my house. I think you'll like it.
Is this pumping iron?
And this was pumping iron gym. So there was little on me, going in there, and it's a hammer strength hardcore gym. So,
and guys, if you don't know, Dr. Zach is he's one of the industry's sort of leading bodybuilders, gym owner. It's not a joke.
It's no joke. And going back again, my childhood, it was WWF wrestling. It was He-Man, Hulk Hogan, all of that. Terminator. I'm not going to share my age because I am getting on a bit, but there's that little bit of bodybuilding purist in me as well. So I was like, wow, love this. Don't know what I'm doing, but I'll have a go. And that's where I met my coach today, Nick Papa. Yeah. So he sort of said, you've got a good structure. Have you ever thought of competing? And I was like, don't really know what that is.
So when was this? Just to sort of put
so this was sort of December, Christmas time, 2017.
Right. So what, 3-4 years ago now?
Yeah.
4 years ago.
So he was like, come and have a training session, because he doesn't beat around the bush.
Yeah.
So he was like, if you can train, if you can hack it, then let's see what you can do. And there's stubborn old me. I'll do my best,
I'll give it a go.
Yeah, give it a go. And the rest is literally history. So I started prep January the 1st, 2018. I was there in church, the clock struck 12. Everybody was eating. I can't have that. I'm on prep. Don't know what prep is, but I need to eat this, this and this.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. And that's what I did, and I followed what Nick told me from the get-go on January the 1st, 2018.
January 1st, 2018.
Yeah. So obviously had a session with him, worked really hard. He said, yeah, you got what it takes. Then we just started training. and then I stepped on stage in that July for the Two Bros in Coventry.
Guys, you must understand, like, I've been covering bodybuilding for a little while now, so I understand how, you know, an athlete's progression usually goes, and I've seen some really good athletes. So tell me about that Two Bros show. That was your first show.
Yeah.
So you went straight into what was a toned figure or a figure class then?
Yep.
So guys, if you understand, like, the progression for female athletes is usually bikini. That's where you start off, because you haven't developed a great deal of muscle, but you've got a good physique, good structure. So you go from bikini to a bikini trained, bikini athletic. Then you look to progress to something like a toned figure. You went straight into toned figure. Who does that? Like, that's like...
Well, I liked it. I liked,
you like the look?
I like the look. I watched the Olympia, you know. In terms of bikini and the posing, it's not really for me, if I'm honest, you know, no disrespect, but, you know, I'm a
But you do understand that's, like, the hardest way to do, like, to go, like, imagine, like, you just got your driver's license, and then you're, like, put on a Formula One track with Lewis Hamilton. That's what you did, basically.
Yeah. And, you know, standing on stage, I didn't know who these girls were until I got off stage, and then obviously started following them on Instagram. So I'm up there with, you know, Bethany Lloyd.
So guys, like, let me give you, like, this is why I really have to emphasize how incredible Kassandra's journey has been. So first time on stage, 2018. I was actually at that show. Emma Hyman won a pro card that day.
Yeah, exactly.
Bethany Lloyd, you're on stage with Bethany Lloyd, Emma Hyman. There were some other ladies. I can't. But you were on stage with what were the best figure athletes in the country at that point in time.
That had been around for a number of years.
And there's little old you, first time on the stage.
But we worked it out by the number of weeks I needed to be on what we thought would get me into stage conditions. I'm like, that's the number of weeks. That takes us to then. There's a show. I'll do that then.
It's just incredible. So your first time on stage with Emma and Bethany Lloyd, you're looking around. What's going through your mind when you were backstage and you're looking at these other girls? Like, because Emma was looking sharp that day. I remember I interviewed her just before she stepped on stage. What were you thinking? Were you thinking, whoa?
Yeah, a lot of that. A lot of
what
that.
Were you thinking?
Yeah, just wow, these girls, you know, they've got a lot of muscle. What am I doing here? What did I do? But it worked out okay, because I did Masters and Open. That gives away my age a little bit. And I came fourth that year in the Open against, you know, some amazing athletes. And from there, it was just, I was hooked.
You literally placed fourth in a, like, Emma won the class, I imagine. Bethany probably second. Like, you placed in a field that, you know, like, the UK would be proud to send to the Olympia. And there's little old you running. I really, guys, I really wanted to sort of to get across, because Kassandra tells the story, but, like, I don't think it probably does, but I'd like for you to know how incredible, how you know, just out of the ordinary, extraordinary that is. It really is. So sorry. I'm in a little bit of a fanboy zone. So, you know, you placed fourth. What? How did you feel after that? What was Nick Papa saying? Like, what was the plan?
Absolutely there? Over the moon. And then people were sort of saying, you know, well done for getting to the Amateur Olympia. And I was like, well, what's that then? What? So I can't eat cake now? What does that mean? I had no clue about the fact that there was regionals and British and next ones and all of that. I thought that was my show, but I did my PCA as well, and I won East Anglia.
I just want to sort of, because you have not been competing for a very long time. You've got one of the best physiques I've seen in a very long time. So you went from the Two Bros, your first show.
Yep.
What shows did you do? If you've got any of the trophies or anything that corresponds with that, I really just want to sort of get the timeline if I can.
Yeah. So I did Two Bros, Then PCA East Anglia, and won that one. So then that took me to the British. Came fourth.
Wow.
In the British. Then in between that, I think, if I'm right, there was the Amateur Olympia.
Yeah.
And I came 8th.
Wow.
In that.
And that's an international show. I think there was 600 athletes in that show. That's an international show.
And then on to the Worlds for PCA.
Yeah.
And yeah, I didn't place in the Worlds, but yeah, that was kind of like, you know, I have to not place somewhere. I can't keep placing all the time. It's not to be expected.
How that was your first season? You know, how did that feel? Being on prep, that because you've not, for someone who's done that string of shows, I'd say you'd had to have been competing for at least 4 or 5 years, a good 4 or 5 years coming into it. How did it feel for you being this new athlete? Like, just share like your experiences, how you feel, emotions, all of it.
I love it. Don't get me wrong, I love it, but I don't put emphasis on winning stuff or placing, because I just love to train. You know, I've loved to be able to change my body all of those years, and obviously I've got a bit of history in terms of not being very well as well.
We'll get onto
that. But having the power to be able to change my physique and be proud of my physique, I don't really care about the placing, if I'm honest.
Wow.
You know,
I love that.
It's just an end to showcasing my hard work.
Wow.
I love getting in the gym. I love training with the OGs, you know, and pumping iron. You know, if anyone says I have to miss a leg day on Saturday morning at 7:15, that's it. You know, it's not happening.
I think the first day we met, like you like that interview, like if you like you telling me how long you've trained, and I was like, it was like error messages. You know, the spinning wheel of death when your computer's like.
I can see it in your face.
I was like, what? How long have you been training? What? Like this is 2-3 years. And you were saying you trained with Zach, and then towards the end of the interview, you were like, "Come and train legs with us." And having told me everything you just told me, I was like, "No, I don't. I'm not coming to train legs. No, thank you." And you were saying like, you said training legs is supposed to be hard. I'm like, no, it could be fun, but you know, like you don't need to.
It is fun, but it's hard work.
But if you're training with Zach, the fun will be minimal. The pain will be so like I was like no, like after what you just said, I'm not going to train it. So you know, so your opening season was incredible. So 2018, just talk us through. So after that season, what other shows did you do from there?
Yeah. So then I was like, well, I like all of this competing as well as training. You know, it's good.
It's alright.
It's alright as a hobby. I haven't got many other hobbies, so that'll do for now. So that takes us on to 2019. And then I did a bit of research on what competing is, and so I realised there was natural shows as well.
Yeah. So you're natural as well. Yeah. I mean, there's just so many parts of this. Every time I hear something else, I'm like, what? Like, so you're natural as well? No, you don't, because you know, to be in the figure class, 95 to 99% of the girls you're competing against are, you know, they're using certain performance enhancing drugs, just because that class requires more muscle, it requires more definition. So you're natural. So you did some research.
Yeah, and then it was like, okay, so there's BMBF and there's UKDFBA. So I chose BMBF.
Yeah.
So I won
British
the Central,
Body,
which was obviously one of the biggest, you know, shows of their calendar that year. And then I went on to the British as well. What else did I do in 2019?
How did you do at the British at the BMBF?
I didn't place.
Oh, you didn't place?
No, I didn't place. I think there's a lot of girls, a lot more, you know, because natural, it's about conditioning, I guess, you know, more so. And because I've got big dominant legs, it's very hard in 2 seasons of dieting to get them into condition. So that's what I've been working on, as well as bringing my upper body up. You know, if I think, because obviously 2020 lockdown. If I tell you that I did 400 reps of lateral raises every week during lockdown with 10 kilos.
Wow.
Yeah, so 2 lots, as well as other bits and pieces.
But I mean, it's
my
like
staple.
So I mean, if you break that down throughout the week, it's.
I did 2 lots of 200.
Wow.
2 lots of 200. I started off doing 5 reps, break, 5 reps, and I got up to doing 25 reps, you know, for 200 twice a week.
Wow. I mean, that's just incredible. I think, you know, your work ethic is one thing, and that's like one of the things that, you know, it shows straight away. So you from the BNBF, what else did you do? Where did you go? You went to the world, sorry, the British, and then you did another show.
I did, yeah, GBO.
The GBO.
So I did GBO as well.
So the NFM,
NFM, yeah, amazing federation.
Yeah,
They're
great.
really up and coming. And I came second and got my pro card.
Wow.
In that as well, which was good and bad, because I'm a bit of a, again, purist. It's like, well, I didn't win, so I didn't deserve that pro card.
I mean, they can award it to up to 2, second, third, fourth.
Yeah, and I get that, but for me personally, and the standards that I hold against, I was like, well, no, I don't deserve that. But anyway, I worked extremely hard.
So what was the class at the GBO? It's
A figure.
Figure. They call it figure. Yeah. Because they've got some.
They have shape and diva and all of that, which is amazing. But I think I'm just married to the figure category. I just love it.
I mean, it's all you've done. It's like just.
I don't know any more poses. I can't be bothered to learn any more poses. Those ones are hard enough, to be fair. Have you tried the poses?
I haven't tried the poses. I'm like, I'll leave it to you guys.
Yeah.
But I do love the figure poses, the side triceps and that bicep.
Yes,
I really
and
love
GBO
them.
allows that, whereas like IFBB, and they're pretty much standard, just mandatory. So I love to be able to showcase, because you know, you work hard for your biceps, so you want to be able to show them off.
I think the first time I saw you at the UKBFF South Coast, I'm jumping the gun a bit. You came out and you had 2 trophies in your hand. She'll tell you about this in a second. But like I literally saw you out the corner of my eye, and I thought, whoa, because your quads are really strong, tight waist, your abs just pop, shoulders just. You've got a crazy X-ray. Your condition was. I was like, wow, that's body fitness. I was like, yes, you know, you're like a kid in class, that's body fitness. Like, I was like, wow, that's a perfect representation of body fitness. It's strong. It's that Amazonian, you know, the Wonder Woman sort of strong. I love
that, yeah.
But it's still sexy and feminine. It's not like pushing towards like a physique or women's body, but it still retains. I was just thinking, wow, and. You know, sorry, but your physique is incredible.
Thank you.
So yeah, you're definitely suited to the figure. So I've interrupted you again. You took second at the GBO, but you won your pro card.
Yeah.
You couldn't make sense.
I couldn't make sense of it. I was like, that's not good enough, Cass. Get back to work. So that's exactly what I did up until being like 7 weeks out in 2020, and we were obviously training in lockdown. So and the show.
This is like you've only been really training for about 18, 20, going into your second full second year.
2 years really.
Then
from
lockdown
scratch.
happens.
Yeah.
What do you think? Because that was a setback for people who had been training for a long time, but someone who's quite new to the sport. What was your first? You thinking, oh crap, I'm going to lose my gains?
Yeah, I was like, well, more so, don't get too fat, Cass. You're in the house. Don't buy the chocolate. But no, I suppose when I made sense of it, and I just thought, I've got a corporate job, very stressful, lots going on. So I just thought, let me just focus on bringing my upper body up rather than dieting down and trying to build as well. I know what I needed to do, so we just went to work with that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember lockdown. It was a tough period for everyone. Everyone who trained was saying, "Oh, we want the gyms, open the gyms, signing petitions." It was tough. But your sort of way to respond to that was do 400 lateral raises.
Yeah. What can I do? What can I do in my living room? My living room became a gym. I had to build an outhouse out in my back garden to put all of the gym stuff in, so I had, I could sit on my settee. But yeah, it was like, okay, just deal with it. And I think, again, going back to my history, when you have obstacles, challenges, you get on with it. You work around it, and I've not done too badly out of that either.
So up until that time, you've only done a handful of shows. Lockdown, and then you're into this season. We're in now 2020.
Yeah.
And so this is where I come in. Like was the UKBeef South Coast Championship your first show of the season?
It was. Yeah. I was gonna do the Kent Classic, but that got cancelled, didn't it? So it was like a funny story actually. So the Kent Classic got cancelled, and then it was like, okay, so what's next? And it was Brighton.
Yeah.
But I had one of my really good friends' hen party in Liverpool the whole weekend booked on that.
Oh, that
so
weekend.
I was just like, my show's been moved. I've been dieting for 20 weeks.
No.
And she was so,
gutted that you were
gutted, but obviously understanding. And she was like, oh, it's worth it. It was worth it because obviously I.
So did you go to the? No, you didn't.
No, I had to cancel.
You had to cancel. So they went on the hen party.
They went on the hen party.
That's difficult because you have to make sacrifices like that, and I think a lot of people don't understand how hard that is.
I was very torn, and and I was like, am I doing the right thing? I'm letting people down. But I had my heart set on doing a show, and I was ready.
So I don't know who the hen was, but I'm really sorry. But I for one, I'm really glad that she made it.
She had a good hen party.
Because that's where we were out with Cass. So sorry that you missed it. But like honestly, that was definitely one of the highlights of I love to hear inspirational stories, but when I'll tell this part. So Cass, you did the Body Fitness Open and Body Fitness Masters.
So Masters
won
was
both
on,
class.
Yeah, no, Open was on first, wasn't it?
Open
yeah.
Well, the Open then the Masters. Won both classes, looked phenomenal.
Thank you.
Talk us through that day. How did you feel? Because you looked incredible. Like I said, like how was that for you?
It was amazing because it felt like a long time coming because obviously lockdown and what have you. So I was really excited and nervous because I was like, what am I doing here again, getting on this stage in a bikini in front of loads of people? Don't fall over. That's my main concern. In those heels, it's hard.
It's incredible, like how you stay, like because you're doing like all these poses. I'm thinking like I struggle to keep a balance with flat shoes, let alone doing all that in heels.
Yeah. But no, I mean my coach competed as well, so it was kind of like many supporters, and you heard in obviously the audience they were going crazy for it. That was probably my most favourable show. I enjoyed myself so much. God, didn't they make us pose so long?
It's because the girl that came second and third to you, Haley. I just love that show, that class. She had been bikini, that's the route. Like I understand, most people think bikini, and she done quite a few years bikini. Then she had to work her ass off to come to where you started. So that class was incredible.
It was so good.
It was really good. So
we worked for it for sure.
It was good to see you guys sweating for it. How did it feel being up there after so long? Obviously, you said it was good, but like when you've not when you've not been on stage for, because your last time on stage was 2019, lockdown, then you're back now. Were you excited, nervous? What was?
Yeah, all of the above. I mean, you can't really put into words the emotions of show day. Even like before, if you're going to a hotel the night before, whatever you're doing in terms of your carb up or your peak week protocol or whatever it is, you've got your little plan in place and you're just focused on the next little task.
I mean, when you're in the hotel and you're doing the standard hotel room selfie, like that anabolic lighting in the toilet, like if you go like because you looked incredible, were you thinking to yourself like, oh, I look hot, I look good? Do you know
what, I'm rubbish at this social. I don't know if it's my age, but I forget. I'm usually like,
so you didn't take the bathroom selfie? You've got to take a bathroom.
I forget.
So okay, like maybe not the bar. Like you had to have looked at yourself at some
I'm getting
point.
better at it. Don't get me wrong.
How did you feel about the packaging you bought?
I was proud.
Phenomenal.
I was proud.
I think you look phenomenal because most of that work was done through lockdown.
Yeah. And most of the work for me it's about the dieting.
Yeah.
It's about getting that condition, which is what the figure category, really sort of asks for. Yeah. And I love my food.
Because I tell you, when you, like I've already said, when you came out, your physique was just, for me, like one of the best representations of a body fitness figure, tone figure that I've seen, and I genuinely think it's just so funny how you just think, oh, I look alright, like I just the gravity of what you've achieved in such a short space of time for me is I don't mince my words. If I say something, I mean it. It's remarkable.
Thank you.
And I'm not even just like trying to. I'm gonna put some pictures over because I was like, mate, we're gonna get you posing. We're gonna get some photos. Like, absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. So the story I wanted to get to here is like, so Cass told me we interviewed you.
You were chasing me around backstage because I was trying not to get interviewed.
I was like,
my head in my suitcase. I was like, no, I'm not doing it.
I work hard to bring in you. I was like, no, because obviously I had a look at your physique. I was like, fantastic. But because I'm nosy like that. I was like, I need to know how this is done. Like, I'm not sure. Like in hindsight, like maybe it was too much for me to handle. Because I was listening to your story, and I was just. You know, first of all, you told me you've been training for 3 years, and I was like, look at like. I think if you watch the interview back, I was like, no, you've been prepping for 3 years. No, you picked up weight 3 years ago, and I was like, how does that? My mind couldn't understand it. And then you said you went straight into the figure. I was like, okay, now who does that? At this point, like my head was just blown. Like, if you know the emoji, like that was like I was trying to style it out, but that's the situation I was in. And then you said you trade legs with Nick Papa, Zach down at Pump, and I was like, who is this crazy woman stood in front of me? And then you were like, come trade legs with us. I was like, no. After everything you did, you know, I really hope you know that it's just so crazy, the journey that you've been on. So I didn't want to sort of, but funny story. I did tell her a little bit about this. So after that show, when I was editing some of the work after that show, and I told you a little bit about this, but I was tired. Like, we'd been to Brighton, we'd had 2-3 shows. You know, I was sitting there. I hadn't slept in 2 or 3 days, and I still had so much editing to do. And I got to your interview. And it was like 3-4 in the morning. I was like, bro, and you know, like, I was so inspired by what you said. Like, I was, you know, it was I was impressed, but I was more inspired by the grit.
That does mean a lot. It really does.
It like really inspired. Really, like, come on, bro. Like you sat there, like, come, like, and I can imagine if you were in the gym, like, come on, Z, like. But I literally thought to myself, like, when I was editing, I was like I was literally I was asleep on my feet, and I was thinking. Then I got to your interview, and I literally thought to myself, "Come on, bro, you got to dig KB deep, like Kassandra Bacon deep." Like, and I literally said that to myself, and I was like, "Whoa!" And I felt myself getting
we
G'd
should
up.
trademark that, right?
Dig KB deep, like, honestly, that's, and it was like. For me, this is why I had to have you on, just to that feeling when I thought, like, like, let's dig KB deep, that inspiration, that motivation, that everything that you just said. You know, there's someone watching this now who is going to feel the way I felt like editing. I was like, come on, if she can do it, if she can, you know, push past you know, limits, push past, you know, they say a bumblebee, its wings are too small to fly, and all the rest, like, it's scientific, but like, no one told the bumblebee that, like, a bumblebee just flies. No one told you that you couldn't go straight into figure. No one told you that you could do it in less than a year, 2 years, and be on stage and be competing with the best in the country. No one told you that you can't compete or train and you know, keep up with some of the best bodybuilders I know in the country. But you just done it.
Well, you know, my mum, she sort of laughs and she says, Cass, I stopped trying to tell you what to wear when you were about 7 years old. Because I know it wouldn't, it's not happening. So I've been quite a determined, you know, self-assured lady, young girl, you know, that's my makeup. So, you know, and I've had a lot of people say, oh, you're not going to be able to do that, Cass, or she won't be able to do that. And I'm like, well, okay, well, I'll send you a postcard when I've done it, you know.
I love that.
And I think that's the attitude to have. You know, you should not be limited. Number one, don't watch what everybody else is doing.
Yes.
You know, because you set your own standard. And number two, believe in yourself to have a go.
Yeah.
You know, have a go, work hard, and enjoy it. And that's exactly what I'm doing. So why would I stop? So yeah.
I can't express how much I love that. You know, these young ladies that are watching this, that are going to take so much away from that. And
I hope so.
Don't let anyone tell you what you can and can't do. Just like
do it three times over. Wave while you're doing it.
That's just so incredible. And you know, so from then I just literally knew we had to get you on. But she's a hard lady to get hold of. She's been doing, so tell us, so this season has been just as crazy. So obviously UKBeef South Coast, that was my little claim to fame. That's where I met Katie. That's where I met Kassandra. So you had some other shows from there. What else did you do?
Yeah, so I always had GBO show earmarked because I wanted to prove that I was worthy to be a pro. I stepped up to figure athletic because I built a lot of muscle and got that extra conditioning, which is so difficult for me. So obviously that shows so much more detail. And well, we know how that went. So I won the overall at the European Championship.
Again, I'm really lucky. I was at that show as well. I was covering that show. You were on stage with Claire Smith.
Yes. Love Claire. Hi, Claire.
One of the, like, Claire, like, I again, this is, like, my understanding of the sport. Like, I was at Claire's first show. She was a tiny little bikini girl. And she then progressed over the, and that's my understanding. It takes a good 3-4 years, but her time frame was accelerated because she works with Brett Smith, who's just phenomenal himself. So you're on stage with Claire Smith, and you know there were some other girls, some other ladies there, but I think it was top two. That was
they pulled us out, didn't they? And they took us around some mandatories.
What like that was a huge, like, I love, big shout out to GBO. You know, their staging was phenomenal there. What did it feel like that day? Just talk me through, because I had the joy of watching it.
Again, it was probably one of my most enjoyable from start to finish shows in the prep, because Suki, you've got no worries, you've got no stress. There's like nothing that isn't sorted for you. Timing was run impeccably. We were on obviously in the evening, so you
were on as pros. So during the day, it's just a long day.
Amateurs,
so amateurs, you don't do the, like, you were straight in the pros in the evening.
Absolutely loved it. And like I said, you know, me and Claire, and again, there's probably about 1.5 foot height difference between me and her. I was the tallest, she was the shortest. So we were having a joke backstage, like little and large, but in different ways. Like,
but Claire, like, no joke, she
has got some muscle.
She's got muscles. I was like, because she's if you could just grab the trophies that you won. So it was between you and Claire basically.
Yes.
So that was at the GBO.
So GBO, this is my first place for the athletic figure.
So that was what? That
was my class category.
To the class, yeah.
So then we went to the overall. And then, hang on, I might fall over.
That's a big old
so heavy.
Wow.
So there she is, my babes.
If you can get them out, I'm always awkward like this. You're gonna have to sit for a few minutes with those.
Oh, really?
On.
Okay.
So just get comfortable. So
you can see it's got chalk on it, right? Because it's been sitting on Pump and Iron's gym counter for a couple of weeks. Because obviously I take the trophies into the gym, and everybody is just so like supportive. So they've all worn the belt.
It was weird. It was like I'm gonna do a sit on the squat rack like. So get comfortable. You're gonna need to hold on to those for a second. I think that was one of the most memorable sort of classes I've ever had to watch, because I was right up close to the stage, so I could see every bit nervous energy. It was incredible. So you and Claire.
My routine.
Oh yeah, your routine.
My routine.
So there was
I was so scared. I was so scared.
How did that go?
So I mean, the last GBO, there was some amazing routines, and some of the figure girls, they've got like a dancing background as well. So I was like, I'm going to have to step my game up. If anyone's going to notice me, what can I do? I'm about as flexible as a 2x4 plank of wood, but let's go. So obviously back to maybe primary school.
Yeah.
At the very latest, the first year of high school, we used to do sort of, you know, cartwheels and whatnot. So I remember I can do a cartwheel. So I practiced this cartwheel in my back garden in lockdown. You know, it was hot, wasn't it? First lockdown, we had lovely weather. So I cut my grass, you know, and in the garden. I thought if I fall over, it's not going to hurt too much. So I relearned from about 12 years old how to cartwheel, and then I remember, okay, one-handed cartwheel. That not many people can do that.
No, that's like the next.
So during lockdown, I relearned how to do a one-handed cartwheel, and I incorporated that into my routine. So I thought that's going to give me a fighting chance if I'm going to have to compete with all of these dancers and what have you. So
that was a cool routine.
I loved doing it. I was so nervous, but so glad. Number one, I didn't fall over, and number two, my bikini stayed on.
Because this is the thing, when you try to get too creative, like wardrobe malfunctions happen.
It's not going to be a good look, is it?
You're like you
I'm so relieved.
Cartwheel, you're like, yeah. You're like the top's gone. It's like,
and I had a little wobble.
Tell me about that.
Yeah.
What do you think that wobble was?
Oh, I know what it was. I know what it was. I had too many swigs of vodka backstage. And that's what it was. So I won't do that again.
So you were like literally stumbling around. You're like, wee. I remember you told me that. You're basically going, wee. But it was a great routine. It was a great routine. After that, you literally pulled it together and you just crushed it from there. It was like a little wobble, like a little stumbling out of the bar wall. No, but it was a really good routine because they judge your routines.
They do. Yeah.
So how do you feel it went?
Wow, to win the overall, what can you say? You know, you see people, you see the results.
It was so emotional.
You see everybody else, you know, and that was me there in the middle, and I can't really comprehend it. It's still not sunken in the fact that I'm now going to Texas. I will have competed this time in 2 weeks' time at Texas for the Atlas.
This is basically your third full season, really, or second?
Yeah, third.
Two and a half.
Yeah.
You know? And I remember Chris Proctor was calling out the winners, and I was like, oh man, like because I would have been happy if you or Claire had won, but I think you on balance edged it. And it was so tense. What were you thinking? Like, because they do like to add a bit of drama. What were you thinking when they were like, and the winner of?
To be honest, you're just thinking, keep your midsection tight, keep smiling. Whatever happens, it's all right. And it goes so quickly, but so in slow motion, it's really hard to understand. But you're just kind of in the moment, but it's weird. And I couldn't believe it when they called my number out. I had to check that it was my number that they were calling.
I'll put the video up for this. You were so happy. I mean, talk me through how that felt.
Amazing. Yeah. Because you kind of like, I can't even tell you the dreams, because when you're in prep and you're fairly lean, you don't really sleep that well, and I found myself going through my posing routine in my sleep, waking up with cramp because I was posing and practicing posing in my sleep.
Awesome.
I put everything into it, you know, and I wanted to prove myself. And it was really lovely, the comment that Chris made on stage. He said, it's lovely to see athletes, you know, go away from previous shows, take on the feedback. Obviously, I was very hard on myself because I wanted to prove that I stood up against looking like a pro. And he said, you've absolutely gone away and done that. So, you know, he gave me props for that.
Chris doesn't mince his words. He's very, like,
for that, this doesn't really matter. Those types of, you know, observations from people like Chris mean so much more. So, yeah, it's great.
Like, you've done so well, and I was so happy for you, to be honest. Yeah, I like what he had to say. And he spoke to Claire as well as she was going off the stage. Really, you know, like that's what I do like that. So he's invited her out to compete in Europe. You're going out now as a GBO. Figured
the UK rep. I think I'm the only European, representative. So I don't know other countries that are going to be there. I don't really like to pay any mind. I just show up, do what I can do.
I mean, these are fantastic trophies. Just talk me through these. Like
it's so heavy.
I did try and help you out with them.
I feel like Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior here.
I'm sorry, I did ask her to hold onto those for a minute. But how cool are these trophies? Have you worn it through down the high street yet? Just to flex, proper flex. I'd be wearing that to work.
So my waist at the moment is about 23 inches. So this is a bit big. But yeah, I definitely need some sort of trophy cabinet now.
You have to at some point wear this around town. Go when you're off season, just flex.
Next Halloween or something, I can be arrested.
No, I'm talking on a daily basis.
General shopping around Lidl.
Disco. you got people ask you just say because I don't know what you'd say.
I don't know what I'd say. What would I say?
I don't know. This is what I'm saying. You have to wear it. It's just because when you're on the spot, you just throw your guns up, but yeah, amazing trophies and really well done.
And I put them beside me where I work. Obviously, I've got my little work from home desk set up, and I just every now and again I glance over. Just, a little smile, and then carry on with my work and what have you. Yeah, it's lovely. Yeah, they're amazing.
So that was your last show. So you've done 2 shows this season. No, you've done more. Because you've been to very hard lady to get hold of. You've been to Spain twice.
Yeah. So the week after I got off stage at the
UKBeef,
Brighton, because they awarded me international kind of competition status, jumped on a plane to
Arnold.
It was the Arnold in Seville,
Spain. Yeah.
That was amazing. And again, body fitness in IFBB is different categories for different federations. You've got to sort of see where you fit best, but the standard was amazing, the experience was amazing. To be on that massive Arnold stage, I nearly fainted when we were at registration, and I was like, I'm going to be on that massive stage.
Yeah.
Just the experience was fantastic. Came back home.
So how was that? Because that's your first time competing abroad. Yeah. So how was that? On the plane, were you excited? Were you like
I was
confident?
just don't eat the crisps, don't eat the nuts. I don't want any other meals. But yeah, it was amazing because obviously I met Nick Swan out there. He's just got world champion.
This guy's 60 and he will look better than 95% of bodybuilders will ever look as long as they train.
And he's the type, I just know he's like the YOLO guy. He's living life to the max, and he's really, again, took me under his wing, and he is an absolute diamond. He's got a heart of gold.
So you guys are just kicking it, Jen?
Yeah, just living life, soaking it all up. Had some jokes and just experience. It was an experience for me because I didn't know what to expect, so I had no expectations.
I mean, if you want to, because he's done quite a few international shows before you, so if you want someone to kick it with on your first international show abroad, Nick Swan's bad.
I've got a good one.
He's alright to have as a sidekick.
So then it was back home for GBO. Then 2 weeks ago I was in Spain in Santa Susana. I did the Worlds.
That was a huge show, guys. So
huge.
That was one of, if not the biggest bodybuilding show that I know of by number. There was 2,000
and
athletes.
The stage. So statistically, the stage is the biggest bodybuilding stage you'll ever walk across. But there was over 100 countries.
IFBB, the IFBB, not the MPC, so the IFBB.
Yes. Over 2,000 competitors there, so it's over 4 days. So you think from 9 a.m. to midnight every day, different categories.
There was 400 classes or 300 classes, 300 categories. talk me through that, because obviously the Arnold's was big, but this was much bigger.
Yeah.
How was that for you? Like, I always want to find out how you were feeling, because like, cause you got such a fresh, everything's first time for you. Like, what were you thinking?
I was just like trying to, keep my jaw off the floor. Again, the competitors, the athletes, the whole sheer volume of it. It was like, am I really here? It doesn't make sense.
You did the body fitness and body fitness masters.
Yeah, I did masters and open.
How did that go?
So again, it was kind of like the difference in what the judges, because the judging panel rotates, because you've got representatives from all of those 100 countries. So again, bodybuilding is subjective. You've got a panel of people saying what they like best to a kind of a criteria. So there was different winners. The looks of the body fitness in obviously height.
It's a representation of
Yeah. So it was nice to see the difference in what they were looking for. But I mean, it was the biggest classes that I'd ever competed on. So 26 in the first class, 16 in the next. And I'm very proud to say that in the open, for my height, so I was the tallest. And there was only two other ladies.
Being tall is actually, it's harder to actually build. You've got to put more muscle on.
Yeah, you don't want to be looking like a stick insect. So you've got to grow outwards, haven't you? You've got to pack that muscle on. So I'm 174.5 centimeters.
Wow.
So there was two other ladies of that height, none taller, so we were the tallest. But I came top 10. I scraped in there. I came 10th. So to walk away from the world's top 10, I'll take that any day.
Mate, that's like, I know the UKBFF would not have put you on a plane. I sat here with Tony Nadio, and I was like, could I get to that? But I was thoroughly joking. But I know that the UKBFF. So they flew you out there?
Yeah. So Wanda and Martin, they looked after us, and just so appreciative and like honoured to be able to represent.
If you're watching and you want to sort of go down the route that Kassandra's gone to, the Arnold's in Spain and the IFBB World Championship, you have to do a UKBFF show. So if you're thinking about shows to do next year, think about UKBFF, think about the GBO, because now, so that was the Spanish shows. You're also going to the NFM UK. People are literally putting you on planes just to stick you on a stage and say you're and that's cool.
I'm getting loads of fridge magnets, My fridge is full.
So the NFM UK are putting you on a plane to go to the
Texas.
GBO Atlas, the Global Bodybuilding Organization. So to get in with a chance to get one of these and fly out to the GBO, you have to do a show with NFM UK or GBO. Actually, to walk off stage with so many prizes, supplements.
There's goodie bags. There's a lot. Yeah. So
your next show up. So we're going to come off competing now, and I just want to get into.
Can I put these down?
You can. Sorry, you can put these down. Sorry.
I did legs this morning, and my quads are hurting.
Oh, mate, you can. So, just talk me through. You've got one show left this year, the GBO Atlas. How you feel about that? How's your physique?
I can't wait to wear my new bikini. So thank you, Kat, my bikini sponsor.
Bikini?
Yeah. Love her.
Amazing bikini maker.
So I can't wait to wear that. I feel.
So has anyone seen it apart from Bikini Mama? No.
Nope.
Cool. So could we get like an exclusive sneak peek? No, was it the first time we're going to be on the?
It's a bit cold in here. I don't really
No, we'll wait till you're on stage in Texas. It's a bit warmer there.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about that?
I feel ready to end the season. I feel like I've ticked so many more boxes out of this season than I ever could dream of. And I just want to finish on a high. So I've put in, obviously got off stage for GBO, having won the overall, 5 weeks. So again, 5 weeks doesn't sound a lot, but when you've been prepping for...
You've been prepping since February.
Yes.
It's November now.
Yes.
November 20th.
Mentally, physically, I'm ready to sort of have a rest.
So tell me, how many cheat meals have you had?
So I started prep after Valentine's Day. So I went out with my other half on Valentine's Day, and that was the start of prep.
Wow.
And then I would probably say I've had four for off plan, where he just said, you know, go out and have a burger, or, you know, there's been somebody's birthday or what have you, and I've been in a place where you can say, just have what you like
3-4 times top. Guys, the amount of discipline that requires, I mean, it's the diet. I think the diet is always the killer. How hard has it been mentally for you?
So I think I've got a certain amount of resilience and determination through who I am as a person, and I think the longer you are on prep, the more you kind of build that willpower, and you just get into that robotic state of, these are my meals, these is when I can have them, and it is very old school, my prep as well, because obviously with Nick, you know, it's the old school way.
Serious bodybuilders, serious people.
I like it works for me, you know, I get into the groove. And
have you felt at some point like you're looking at your other half like, mate, you could get stabbed if you like, have you ever thought about like
you'll have to ask him.
Because I remember looking at like people that I love dearly, thinking, mate, I could, when I was on prep, I like, if you say one more, and then they will probably say something really rational. If you say one more word, this could kick off. Like, have you been in that state where you're just looking at people like, what sort of mental wobbles? I need to know something.
Do you find yourself like internally counting to 10 quite a bit, or I'm just gonna go and make a hot drink? You know, you just simmer down. But yeah, I think
I need one specific story where like you're looking at someone and you're like, mate. If you've got any.
So Daniel, my other half, he loves his biscuits. And he was sitting there, custard creams in particular. He's going to kill me for saying this. So movie night, with the kids or what have you, and you know, the family, like the 4 rows of the big.
Like the proper man size. Custard creams.
Well, enough to do it. Right next to me on the settee.
Was he crunchy? Could you hear them crunching?
And I could smell them. I nearly,
because you've got a heightened sense of
everything. Heightened sense of everything.
And hunger. You were hungry. Like, what did you had, and what was he having?
What had I had?
That, like, meal-wise that day.
Like asparagus and fish, probably. Handful of almonds. What? Doesn't compare, does it?
So he's eating these custard creams. What's going through your mind?
I was just like, if you crunch. And he'll do this thing where he'll eat the top part and then eat the cream and then eat the bottom part.
So you were eyeballing how he was eating. Let him eat his custard creams. You're looking at it like it's okay to eat custard creams. Well, how Kassandra was looking at him was not okay, although she feels he was in the wrong.
But it was like, sorry, babes, you can't have one of these, can you? And I'm like, no, I can't.
Okay, maybe that was offside. So, what were you thinking? What were you thinking? Like, you were sitting there thinking, dude.
No, to be honest, it's because it's me, it's my choice, isn't it? It's my choice. So, have your custard creams. What do they taste like, hon? Do they taste nice? Are you enjoying them? Yes.
Oh man, that's so.
But there's been so many times when I've had to just go, sorry about that. You know, when you just rewind and you think,
because you're hangry, you're hungry, and
as well, if I'm tired, you know, I can be anything but sort of hungry and tired.
Oh, that's like a very
or cold. I don't like to be any of those 3.
Yeah.
But it's hard. It's hard work, week in, week out. It's like other sports, you can switch on and switch off. But bodybuilding is 24/7.
You can play rugby, you can play tennis. You know, you're on the field, then you come off, have a shower, then you can forget about it for a couple of days. Really recoup. Bodybuilding is day in, day out. So I want to sort of spend a little bit of time now just on what the area that we've just sort of touched on, which is bodybuilding is an everyday sport. It's not an everyday sport. There are no days off really to get into the shape that you've got, the condition that you've got, and to achieve everything that you've got. I can only imagine how much grit and determination has had to go into that. Can you talk me through like the training, the challenges with the training, a little bit about your history now, because this is the part where I wanted to sort of like there's so much of a mental journey as well as the physical that you've had to go through it. I'm so curious as to what your thought process is been. What got you through the tough times? So like with the biscuit situation, but with I want like real situation where you weren't sure whether you could do it, and how you got through it mentally, and how you overcame those challenges, everything in your past. Like I just want to get into your mind, your mindset, because you train with Zach at Pump and Iron Gym. That's not a joke. You've been dieting since February. That's not a joke. But the results speak for themselves. But I want to know how.
To be honest, it's not that hard. And I say that with a smile on my face because it is hard, but I've dealt with a lot harder.
Yeah.
So it's about perspective. So I've chosen to do this. I enjoy the training. That's the easy bit. However hard leg day is, I still enjoy it.
That's the easy bit. So
I know it sounds twisted, but
it is.
I love it.
A little bit twisted.
And I think.
So when you come off a leg day, like what do your legs feel like the day or two after?
Depends what we've done.
I remember like all throughout my prep. All I remember from my prep is DOMS. It was Monday was leg day, and then it was like Wednesday my legs were recovered, and Thursday bang it's leg day again. I'm like, come off it.
Yeah.
And my legs didn't grow.
And I think again, for what I've been through, I've probably built up a higher pain tolerance
threshold.
In terms of pushing my body to extremes that it can be pushed to. This is nothing compared to what I've been through, if I'm honest. We're getting deep now.
No. If you could you tell? Because I know a little bit, but I literally know just what I've read on your social media. You survived cancer twice.
Yeah.
I mean, like, could you tell us a little bit about that? Because I've been. If you can share as much or as little as you can, or want to, just talk us through that, how that's played into your fitness journey.
Yeah. So. Again, I don't really share a lot, and to put that little sentence on my Instagram took a lot, because I don't know if it was the way that I was brought up, but it's not something that I want to be known for. But yeah, I had cancer. So if you take it back to when I was 17 years old. Just first year of A levels at college. Wow. Just learning to drive, then finding out you've got
A levels. So how old were you?
I was 17 years old.
No way. Boy, like every time you say something, it's just like I'm just left with just like the little emoji of mind blown. Wow.
So Hodgkin's lymphoma, which can be thankfully cured. So I had a round of 8 weeks chemotherapy.
Chemotherapy.
So if I tell you, obviously my friends used to bring me my schoolwork because I was obviously too sick sometimes to go into college. They sort of said, do I want to defer? No, I can still do this. So, between having chemotherapy.
Age 17, doing your A-levels.
So I finished my A-levels. I continued on. I continued to learn how to drive, and I passed my driving test. My dad bought me a little car and stuff like that. But,
How scared were you? Because you saying you carried on, but like, was there a moment of fear of like, holy crap? Like,
So then I was more scared about, I'm going to lose my hair. That was a big one.
That was a big. I mean, for a young girl.
I've got a good shaped head though, so it didn't look too bad. And I bleached it blonde.
You're like, okay, if I go like. Okay, cool.
So I mean, you're 17 years old. Back then it's all about
Yeah, like your
looks and your social. But we dealt with it. For me, I had nothing in my comprehension that I would not beat it.
The thought didn't cross your mind.
Did not cross my mind, and it was my family support wrapped around me that kept me on that level. We are going to deal with this.
So that, I think, for me is a very interesting insight, and I think it is largely to do with your level of determination. Now, sorry, I'm just like,
no, I truly believe that. Yeah. So then finished that round, you know, that 8-week course of chemo, scans and whatever else, you know, put into remission. But then around 3 months later, I relapsed. And then it was a kind of an oh shit moment, you know.
Is this not going to go away?
This is not good. This is not good because it's supposed to be going away. And because I have half brothers and sisters, but no true brothers and sisters. That
so
what was
because you need medical. You need bone marrow.
So what was on the table in terms of an option was back in the day, like 20 years ago, because I've literally just had my 20th year remission anniversary. It was stem cells were all this new thing that was up and coming. So they extracted from me as much stem cells as I was. It was safe enough to extract, but it wasn't enough that they needed. So they extracted my own bone marrow as well.
Can they do that? Can they? Then, like, wouldn't it just be like taking it out just to put it back in?
Yeah. So in terms of bone marrow and stem cells, they're new cells that don't know what they are yet.
Right.
So they turn into. So if you cut yourself, your stem cells will turn into red blood cells because that's what your body needs. So they literally took everything out of me that they were possibly able to. Then I was put on another course of severe chemotherapy, so literally killed every cell in my body.
Because it kills healthy cells along with the cancer cells.
It doesn't know if it's a cancer cell or a normal cell. It just kills the fast dividing cells. And then I was in the penthouse of Adam Brooks for 8 weeks. We call it the penthouse, but that's the cancer ward. And then they just bunged all this stuff back into me, and literally I can remember the doctors sort of saying it's a 50-50.
So when you were going through it's another round of chemo,
blitzed my body.
Chemo is physically draining. You feel sick as a dog because they're literally killing you in small measures. How did that feel the second time round? And were you scared? So I asked you, were you scared first time round? Were you scared the second time round?
Yeah, because they gave me a 50-50 that it would work or not, and then there was no plan C after that. So it was either this has got a 50% chance of work, because you don't know if it's going to work.
What was going through your mind when they say that?
I don't know if I've blocked it out, Z, or not. I don't know. I really can't remember. It's just, okay, this is the option. This is what we're going to go through. But yeah, so it's a funny story, because when my mum came to see me, when we were staying in the hotel at Coventry before my very first competition, I opened the door, "Hi Mum, I'm getting ready," and she burst into tears because she'd not seen me and I'd lost so much weight. That took her back. That took her back to when I was ill.
So she saw the 18, 17-year-old Cass in the hospital.
Yeah.
And so she's crying.
Yeah. And I was like, oh wow. Because obviously I saw myself week in, week out losing weight, and with FaceTime and stuff. And
did she look at you now and say, "Are you eating enough?" Like, does she like?
She knows I eat. She knows, because I'm like, I've got to eat in 45 minutes and 10 seconds. But no, she supports me all the way. But yeah, it was a horrendous time. I was very poorly.
For a lot of young people, and it's very interesting. 17, 18, very formative years. A lot of young athletes. That's right about the time a lot of athletes, start to train. In my mind, you start to train sort of 17, 18 when you're free. You got a car. You're able to get to the gym. 20s, you do your first bikini show. You were going through some of the most horrendous things at that time. Do you think having to face such a tremendous struggle so early on is why you're so strong now? I don't know, I'm just spitballing.
100%. It gives you a massive perspective on life. It gives you an element of humility as well, because people moan about nothing, and you're just thinking, if you knew, if you really knew.
So is that always in the back of your head?
Sometimes it just goes over, but sometimes I don't say much, but it just gives you an element of appreciation for life. And just don't take things too seriously as well. I'm enjoying this, I'm working hard, but it's not, there's bigger things that people deal with, than winning a medal or not.
So you never come off stage kicking your heels off and this is the end of the world. It's like, because you've got that perspective. So in light of what you just said, like, so with your prep, like, it's 9 months dieted, training heavy, Nick Papa and Zach and them. How do you think that has gone into all of this, in like this season particularly? Have you had to draw on that survival experience to get where you are now?
No, I think it just it's built me the way that I am. But this is a passion. This is not something that I'm scared or I don't need to go to that dark place. I don't need to go. That's the darkest place that I've kind of shut the box and it's been and done. But I am who I am now, and I've just found this little crazy thing called bodybuilding that has enabled me to be much more confident in myself and change my body. And the outputs are having fantastic experiences going to Spain and Texas. But you just need to, like, in the first interview, just get on with it.
You did say that.
And I sound like my mum now. Just get on with it. I'm turning into my mother. Oh my gosh.
I was like, no, you're talking about training legs with Zach. No, I'm not going to just
If you commit to something, you do what you say you're going to do. You put in your hard work, and you just get on with it.
That's it. I mean, like literally, if you're sitting there, and then you're like thinking, it's been a tough season, I could have done. Like, just get on with it, mate. I'd like to, if you could, like, speak to any young ladies right now, and I'm going to try and post this in your own words. What advice would you give anyone? It doesn't have to be cancer or survival related. Just your sort of inner thought processes. What advice would you give them if they're getting into competing, or they're thinking about competing, or they've been competing and they're not, getting to the next level, get the places in it? What advice would you give them? Like, how have you turned all of this into such a tangible result here?
I think for me, it's kind of like, as I said before, I've just fallen into the competitive side of things because I love training. I think some young girls, especially with the social media element of it nowadays, they get into the trap of training to have to, because they want to compete, and it's all about competing and it's all about those placings. But again, it's people's opinions. It's human beings' opinions.
Judges.
And judges, in terms of judging, which is, completely out of most people's control. And for me as well, in terms of what you were saying about being natural, I've had a lot of rubbish put into my body in terms of medicines and harsh medicines. And I would say, just put in the work and you can change your body. Enjoy the process. And stay healthy, and don't get caught up in the hype of the medals. For me, it's lovely.
Enjoy it,
but enjoy the training.
Cassie, it's been absolutely brilliant speaking to you today. I like, if I listen to anymore, I might not survive. But I just want to sort of get into your nitty-gritty. We're just going to close on this, just because I need to just talk us through your training split, your diet, what that's comprised of.
Oh, don't judge me. It's so bro. It's so bro. I mean, if you think about it, Nick Pappy's obviously over 60 now, and there weren't even protein powders back in the day then.
Yeah.
So I'm on a bro diet of, you know, chicken, rice, fish, you know, nuts for fats, you know,
That's
oats, egg whites. Basic. I jazz it up with a few spices. But you know, I enjoy it. It's all I know.
So you don't do any of these like protein bars or like I don't know. There's all sorts of different things like diet hacks.
If I tell you, I'm yet to try cream of rice. All of this cream of rice hype, you know.
Yeah.
I haven't tried it yet.
Not tried.
I will. You know, when I'm off season. But
you sound like an old school bodybuilder.
I do, don't I?
What's cream of rice? It's like that's what you sound like.
So yeah, I mean, and again, when I'm off season, I'll get a bit of balance back. Obviously, you know, I love fruit and all of this. But yeah, it's just what my coach does, and I follow the plan. And then in terms of split, so I rotate. So I train with Nick and Paul and Zach 2 days a week, and the rest I train on my own.
Sorry.
So yeah, I train twice a week with Nick, and then the rest of the week I train on my own.
So if you've got like your body parts, how are they split over the week?
So we always prioritize shoulders, and then we rotate chest and back on a Friday. So whatever rotation that is, I'll train it.
So is that because your shoulders need bringing up, or like?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've prioritized the shoulders, and then we can train heavy, and he can sort of spot me on stuff as well. And then Saturday is legs.
You enjoy training shoulders because you got good set shoulders. I think that was one of your. I think like so you. I mean, because you've got nice kept delts.
Thank you.
You're talking about doing 400 laps a week.
So like Friday, 3 plates on the shoulder press, hammer strength.
That's 120 kgs.
Yeah.
Those hammer strength shoulder presses are hard. They're heavy. They're unforgiving.
Yeah.
You're doing all the work.
Yeah.
There's no sort of lateral sort of support. 120 kgs.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
wow.
You know, I wouldn't say full range of motion, but to get that pressure, you know, my shoulders that I've built speak for themselves. It's a bit unorthodox, old school training.
Really? That's hard,
I love
heavy,
it. I love it.
Training.
It's heavy training, yeah.
And you enjoy that?
Love it.
Come away thinking, yes, that hurt.
How much do I hurt?
That's crazy. That's crazy.
So then I'll just split. I'll do shoulders again on my own. So I train shoulders twice a week, and then I'll rotate the back and the chest, and then I'll do sort of glutes and hamstrings as well on my own, and just chuck in a bit of arms and a bit of abs. I hardly ever train abs.
Hardly, no way. I think you've got some of the most amazing abs. They're like, because some people have like really, it's not, I call them stringy, like the thin, sort of thin, but you've got nice, you know, defined split abs. Yeah. So you don't train abs.
I never knew they were there.
Don't train abs. You didn't know. You're like,
well, maybe once a week. What are
these? Abs? I got like, got really good glutes as well. You need glutes for the. What about your hamstrings? Hamstrings. How do you feel about those?
Yeah, I love my hamstrings. I've got a really good sweep. It's just the condition that I struggle with at the back.
That's if I'm being nitpicky with my bodybuilder, that like I'd say like just bring that condition that's through your front onto your hamstrings.
It's always the last thing.
But it's always the last thing to sort of kick in. But
we'll get there.
You'll get there. I mean, like that's just me being bodybuilding, like, you know, just having to nitpick. But you know, like your quads are just. Like, I remember seeing them the first time when you came out, I was just like, whoa, quads inbound. Talk us through your quad training.
So we do hack squat, leg press.
Narrow with the feet?
Yeah. Just heavy squats. So even today, I know I'm 2 weeks out for a show, 2.5 plates on a side, drop set. So I did 70 reps.
You enjoy this?
Yeah.
You think like,
yeah.
So you get a bed thinking it's leg day.
Yeah, I do. I'm crazy, aren't I? I'm crazy.
If you're gonna change, if you're gonna make real significant change, you gotta think crazy. Because I think like everyone's just about as blown away as they can be. It's like listening to you. But I know I am. It's been such a brilliant. I'm so thankful you managed to get in.
No, thank you.
Just to close out, is there anyone you want to sort of give, anyone who might have watched right to the end? Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to? Who's been following your journey? Is there anyone you want to thank?
Yeah, everybody really. I mean, all the guys at Pump and Iron Gym. Big shout out to all my family there. They just support me week in, week out. Keep going, you know, fist bumps and congratulations.
We're sort of like bros. It's like we're like
yeah. But obviously my family and my other half and the kids, you know, to just go through this whole year and the other years of just prep. It's a lot of sacrifice.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And then my sponsors, Effective Nutrition, and my bikini sponsor, Kat. BKB. She's amazing. But yeah, just anybody following my journey, all the likes, all the support, it just means so much. Again, I'm rubbish at social media. I am getting the hang of it, but it does mean so much. Thank you.
I totally woke up on Thursday thinking I'm going to spam this.
I nearly fell off my bike doing cardio.
I tagged you in everything everywhere. I was like, going to spam you like your feet.
And thank you. It's been amazing. You've really supported me from Brighton.
Dude, like you've done all the work. I've just been like sat there with popcorn, enjoying like seeing it because I love seeing it. Like, don't thank me. Thank you.
You know, bodybuilder of the season. I was like, no.
Dude,
what about him? What about them? It's not me.
100%.
But no, I appreciate it. I appreciate the support. Yes. And I hope to do everybody proud in a couple of weeks.
Mate, you're gonna go out to like the show's not even over for us. We still got a bit to look forward to. So we'll see you on stage at the Atlas.
Yep.
But guys, I'm just thoroughly blown away by this young lady. I really am so lost for words. So sorry. Guys, I'm rarely ever. I'm so blown away by Cass. I'm really ever so lost for words. Not even just because I don't know what to say. Just because I don't know how to respond to what I've just heard. It's just incredible. That's why she was my pick for Bodybuilder of the Season. Our pick for Bodybuilder of the Season as a magazine. You got some protein and stuff. They give you some protein, like because you're with Effect. Like, but we always welcome it here. But you
giving me some gifts.
Like you're on the front cover with Scott Swinch in a little while. You'd like
I can't believe it.
So that's pretty cool. And then like hopefully I can get the cover shot. I don't know. Like we'll see if I can get a good shot. But mate, absolutely well done.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming down.
No, I've loved it.
Absolutely.
It's been very scary.
It's just been so good to hear your story.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. I've been wanting to died to ask everything. I think I've asked most of what I wanted to. Like I know all the blanks are filled in.
Good.
And I'm just even more blown away than I was when I arrived. So thank you guys. Thank you for coming in. But guys, always thank you for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe to YouTube if you're watching it there. Follow us on Facebook if you're watching it there. Give us a follow on YouTube if you're watching it there. But guys, as always, thank you for your support. Kassandra Bacon, our bodybuilder of the season, bodybuilding boss chick. And peace. We'll see you soon.
Bye.